How mindfulness helps break the cycle of negative thinking. Are you ever stuck in a cycle of bad feelings that you can't seem to break? What if there was a way to get out of this thought loop that didn't involve big changes, but just a little shift in how you think? We'll talk about the amazing power of mindfulness and how it can help you change the way you think, calm down, and see things clearly even when things are going crazy. Are you ready to find out how a simple habit can change the way you feel and bring you permanent peace? Do you remember that moment when you humiliated yourself so much that you found yourself replaying it over and over in your thoughts, cringing a little bit all the time? Consider the fact that you have told yourself so many times that you are not deserving of a raise or promotion that you deserve, yet you are unable to ask for either of those things. You allow it to fester, which eventually results in animosity that is a product of your own uncertainties. If for no other reason than the fact that they are familiar, negative thought patterns that are repeated over and over again are a curiously comfy adversary that we have with us at all times. On the other hand, you have a gut feeling that recalling a humiliating historical incident over and over again in your thoughts is not only counterproductive, but also potentially hazardous. Similar to the previous example, telling yourself that you are not deserving of the increase when the underlying motivating cause is that you have a bad sense of self-worth is nothing more than a negative thinking pattern that may be highly detrimental. Why is it so difficult to break these patterns? Researchers continue to investigate the ways in which mindfulness influences human behavior as a source of research. Recent studies on mindfulness have investigated the impact that mindfulness has on the patterns of negative cognition, negative thought patterns. The practice of mindfulness is a beneficial skill that can be utilized to gain awareness of and break free from the loop of unproductive thinking. To begin, let's discuss what mindfulness is. An instructor at Clark University who teaches a class called Mindful Choices is Jessica Bain-Robert, who is also the assistant director of the Writing Center and Writing Program at Clark. To put it another way, she explains, mentorship is simply the practice of bringing awareness to the present moment. The practice of meditation, yoga, and other activities that concentrate on the mind and body are frequently used to accomplish this goal. The goal is to incorporate these techniques into circumstances that occur in everyday life. Changing a mental habit requires a basis of present and awareness, which is the foundation. It's possible that we don't even realize how frequently we engage in negative thought patterns or how much of an influence they have on our day-to-day lives in general. As soon as we recognize the patterns, we are aware of what we should focus on. Because of this, mindfulness acts as the pivot point for taking action in order to deal with unpleasant thoughts and feelings. At the University of Western Ontario in London, Ontario, where he is a professor of psychology, Dr. John Paul Minda is a researcher who focuses on cognition and thinking in addition to mindfulness. Minda brought people's attention to some recent study on mindfulness and attention monitoring that was conducted by Lindsay and Cresswell. There is a possibility that mindfulness meditation can assist individuals in becoming more aware of their own feelings, he stated. People have the ability to participate in positive remediation rather than lingering on negative cognition if they are aware of unpleasant feelings as soon as they occur and take action to acknowledge them. As a result, you are able to catch yourself rather than reliving a humiliating experience or repeating your repeated lack of value. The monitoring and acceptance model, MAT, is the name that Lindsay and Cresswell gave to this concept respectively. Lindsay and Cresswell argue that the attentional monitoring aspect of mindfulness can allow for people to be more readily aware of their thoughts and emotions, which can allow them greater flexibility in cognitive reappraisal, Minda explained. Mindfulness can also allow people to improve their ability to reevaluate their thoughts and feelings. Mindfulness does not necessarily lessen negative thinking or bad emotions. Rather, the attentional control that is established via meditation practice helps people deal with negative thoughts more rapidly. This suggests that mindfulness does not inevitably reduce negative thinking or negative emotions. According to Minda, a similar assertion is made in a report that was written by Michael Inslicht, who works at the Toronto Laboratory for Social Neuroscience at the University of Toronto. People are able to respond more rapidly to negative ideas when they practice mindfulness because it improves their attention and increases their ability to regulate their thoughts. Moreover, Minda noted that there was a study that was only recently published that described how this might function in actual reality. Itai Ivston and his colleagues requested that the people who participated in the study take part in an online meditation session that placed an emphasis on being optimistic. In the favorable evaluations, the participants who practiced this meditation showed advantages that lasted for an extended period of time. Based on the findings of these experiments, Minda stated that it is possible that mindfulness does not prevent negative thoughts from occurring. However, it appears that the practice of meditation assists individuals in being aware of unpleasant ideas, acknowledging such thoughts, and then moving on with their lives. The ability to manage negative thoughts more effectively is brought about by mindfulness. it's possible that the embarrassing memory or the moment of self-doubt that you experience will continue to cross your mind. The research, on the other hand, suggests that practicing mindfulness can help you recognize negative thoughts more easily and get off the merry-go-round that frequently results from concentrating on negative ideas. Katie Krimer, MA, LMSW, a psychotherapist and social worker in New York City, has observed that the findings of this research are consistent with her observations in practice setting. According to Krimer, the goal of practicing mindfulness, whether through meditation or other activities, is never to get rid of negative thoughts or to get rid of anxiety. The purpose of practice, on the other hand, to develop a greater awareness of things according to their current state. Because of our rejection to the uncomfortable experience, a significant portion of our worry and negative thinking is maintained because of it. The discoveries made by Minda and Krimer appear to be in agreement with the statement made by Bain Robert, which states that it is well known in psychological and scientific circles that whenever one engages in a behavior over and over, it can lead to changes in the brain, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. She makes reference to a study that was conducted by Tang, Holzel, and Posner in the field of neuroscience. The study examines, in part, the physical changes that are detected in the architecture of the brain via the practice of mindfulness. It is acknowledged in the study that additional research is required in order to comprehend the implications of the alterations in the structure of the brain with regard to behavioral adjustments that can be repeated with absolute certainty in the scientific community. In spite of this, the research and scientific evidence continue to indicate that practicing mindfulness can result in changes in the brain and behavior that are physical, mental, and emotional in nature. Despite the fact that research on negative thoughts is only one area of focus, the most recent data is very encouraging. Take some time to reflect and, as soon as possible, put in a request for that promotion. It can be hard to break the cycle of negative thinking, but mindfulness is a strong and gentle way to move forward. Mindfulness training teaches us to notice our thoughts without judging them. This helps us take a step back from negativity instead of letting it rule us. Mindfulness helps us see these trends and return to the present moment instead of getting lost in worry or self-doubt. This change can help you see things more clearly and feel calmer, which can help you think positively and be stronger. Being mindful doesn't have to be perfect or take hours of meditation. Just being aware for a short time can make a big difference that lasts. This practice changes the way our thoughts work over time, making us more compassionate and less reactive when we face problems. With each mindful breath, you can start over, break out of the mental loop, and develop a more balanced, peaceful attitude. Remember that being aware is a process, not a goal. Accept the process, be kind to yourself, and believe that each mindful moment gets you closer to ending your negative thoughts and making your life more peaceful and accepting of yourself. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep exploring ways to boost your mindset and well-being, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Join us for more insights on living your best, most balanced life.